reason we do video interviews as a reply to your question is because we've got members who can't read or write. So for their for transparency and for their capacity to know that what I'm saying to you represents their voices, we use video. Your email said that you're only prepared to meet with the union if we leave these properties. But that ain't going to happen. What you're asking is for families to move out onto the street at winter time so that we can have a meeting with you. You want people to live here and sit on a public waiting list for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in boarding rooms, in transitional housing. We know it's toxic. You'd know from your own advisors, your own government departments, your own interaction with homeless services and support services, just how failed your system is. And what we're asking for as a union isn't different to any other union. We want better conditions for our members. A picket line at a work site, nothing in, nothing out, yeah? They don't leave that picket line to come to the table and speak with the bosses. So if you're asking us to leave these properties to come and have a talk with government, which you're meant to have a talk with us anyway, it's insulting. Here's a reality check for you. HPUV invites you to stay in one of those boarding rooms that your department offers to people for housing support. Stay in there for 1 month, yeah? The first time you hear the screams of someone getting raped, ignored, or someone beaten up, and no one even bats an eyelid, beaten up for their dole check or a packet of cigarettes. You wouldn't even last 24 hours in one of those places that you're asking people to stay in. You really, really need to have a long, hard think about the way government is serving the people, the way government has failed the people, the way your system that you're trying to force on us, we never signed on to it. So why should we sacrifice ourselves to it? So let's reframe this balance of power here. Yeah? Consider this, people experiencing homelessness, they've got nothing left to lose, yeah? So you need to sort of think outside the box and offer something different, you know, take a different position than just closing the door. There's plenty of other empty houses that we know of, yeah? Plenty. We've got a long list of empty houses, empty public housing assets. Expect more of them to be moved into. We will not be bowed. We are taking a stand for human rights and social justice. So no matter what menace you throw at us, we will not be bowed. We will come up with an innovative, self-organising way of dealing with our humanitarian needs. Our own way, without jumping through the hoops, without running through the maze to find a bloody bit of dehumanised cheese at the end of it. That ain't working for us. There's an inconsistency in government at the moment. Are you all reading from the same script? And, you know, like, we sort of were aware that when we came, if we were going to come to have a meeting with you, that you were going to sort of pigeonhole, oh no, we're the Department of Human Services, and that's the Department of Roads and Transport and Economics or whatever. We don't care what pigeonhole you're hiding in. What we care about is our humanitarian needs and the humanitarian crisis created by homelessness and the systemic causal factors that are creating homelessness. So we weren't really expecting you to provide any answers anyway, especially being that you're one of the lower monkeys on the totem pole. In saying that, you're the Director of Human Services and Housing, so there's an onus on you to consider the grievances. There's an onus on you to ensure that your department is acting in a way that's continually improving. And you ain't going to be able to do that unless you take on board and consider the feedback of people who are the consumers of your department's services. Ideally, being that you are the director, wouldn't you want to see people having an enriched experience and not being caught in poverty, not being provided with substandard care? So we extend an invitation again, yeah, and hope that you reconsider the position that you've taken. I've been asked to read this out. If a representative of this government, which is potentially you, wishes to meet with the union, the first step the government needs to take is to repeal the willful trespass laws as they apply to abandoned and disused buildings, so that vulnerable members of the community are not criminalised for seeking their human rights to shelter in a way that hurts no one and costs nothing.